I said to myself, I said, wow, I learned so much from these books. And I ain't learning nothing from these guys I be hanging out with. So at that moment, I made my books my friends. Because I said I always learned something from them. They became my true friends. And for the next 30 years, those were my friends, my books. So this is around, so now, spent a couple of years in solitary confinement. It's around 87, I'm in college. So I'm about 28 years old now. You know, so, and pretty much, I don't want to keep regurgitating this prison experience over and over and over and over for the next, 20 plus years. Even though they cover like 3 decades of my life and some, 3 plus decades of my life, and so from that moment, that the desire to want to talk about things I don't know about, and the light bulb going off when I got those 5 A's my first semester. I was on a pursuit for learn knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. I had an insatiable appetite for learning. Because when I spoke, I wanted to know what I was talking about, or else I wasn't going to speak at all. And that's how I am today. If I speak about something, chances are I know something about it. Chances are I know something about it. After going to school for 30 years plus years, you will learn a thing or two about a little of everything. Because my educational experience was horizontal. It's like a jack of all trades, but a master of none. As opposed to vertical, where I'm just studying one particular degree all the way to the doctorate's level. I chose many different degrees and never went to the master or doctor's level, just continued to get degrees after degrees after degrees horizontally that way. So I can, because I always had a vast interest that was off the chart, literally. I remember Miss Marceau, my typing instructor, gave us an interest test one time. And my scores came back. All my test scores was off the register of interest, the things that I was interested in. My interest was off the register, then in every category. So that's why I took the horizontal route instead of the vertical route, an educational pursuit, because I had an interest in everything. I was just met a guy the other day talking, and he was a bartender, but he said he majored in geology. I said, what you know about plate tectonics? He said, I know quite a bit. See, when you go horizontal, you can dibble and dabble and converse, with a little everything, a little everybody. And that's how I am. I like to talk to people, I like to kick it, and I like to be, hold a conversation about whatever they're into. I want to be able to, have some kind of basic conversation, have some knowledge of the subject matter, And one thing people should understand, a person who was educated in a specific field, especially if they have a degree of mastery in that field, when they teach, when they speak to you, they're actually teaching you at that moment. If you really pay attention to what they're saying and learn and absorb what they're saying, you are actually being taught about the subject. So as you're being taught about the subject on spot, if you're articulated enough, you can have a conversation about it because it's going to trigger other interests, and other ideals. Because now you're taking their basic knowledge that they just educated you on, and now you're using that to stimulate curiosity in other aspects of that subject. And sometimes aspects that they hadn't even considered themselves. And that's what makes conversation stimulating. So instead of, like I say, going out, speaking about 30 years of prison life, there's one person in particular, maybe a couple, but there's one person in particular I want to talk about. His name is Mr. Lionel Sims. Mr. Lionel Sims was the first black gentleman that I ever encountered. Even though he had been sentenced to prison, he was still a gentleman. He got caught up in some stuff, but he had very gentry mannerisms. And because all the professors was talking about me, they said, hey, this guy, Cleveland Baffert, man, this guy, he asking some hell of a questions, man. He's, he keeps you on your toes in class. He brings that energy to the classroom. He's always alert, motivated, and really always got his assignments in order, never late on the assignments. So, the administrators and the clerks and stuff, they hear this stuff, because they in the office before we come to class, they already in the office because they got to receive the professors and stuff. So, Mr. Sim took me up under his wings, man. He was a little older than me. I said, Lionel, maybe about 18 years older than me. He could be 18 to 20 years older than me. He looked young though, but he took me on his wing, man, and so I ended up going back to Jackson on the north side, and I think I was at a level 2 at that time. But level 3 or something, I don't know. I could have been level 2. But anyway, I got back there. Lionel took me on his wing. They used to host a lot of presentation events for the professors, give them the accolades and the flowers and awards and stuff like that. And he started me into presenting awards to various professors over the years. When we had banquets and stuff like that, he always select me to present at least one award to one of the professors. And because he's seen that even though I was a smart guy, he's seen I was a little uncouth, to say the least, and very unpolished, and he was just trying to get my etiquettes up to par, and I was thankful that he was allowing me to learn these different etiquettes and mannerisms, in the professional realm. So I can put it together with my knowledge and education and be able to present myself on all levels of intellectual engagement. So that was very instrumental in my development as a professional. He really helped me hone my skills in that area. And also writing programs, you know, GED volunteer programs, you know. He always had me as a one of the instructors. I think I taught arts, literature and arts, and maybe history. Yeah, literature and art and history. But we try to get, all 5 subjects to different 5 individuals. But every now and then somebody might ride out, and somebody got to step in and fill that class. To continue to get them guys prepared for their DEDs. So he taught me about volunteerism, taught me about program writing, he taught me about presenting awards and presentations, how to prepare for those things as well. So he had a very instrumental impact on my social imprint, Probably the main reason why after 33 years of incarceration, I did so well for myself when I got out. Even though I didn't have no kind of support, from my family or nothing like that. They just threw me out here and said, make it, sink or swim. But because of my education, because of my socialization with Mr. Sims, I was able to overcome a lot of obstacles, even though I was learning a whole new culture, be it socially, economically, be it technologically. I had to learn everything. I didn't know anything, about the new world order, if you will. And so after 7 years now, starting on my 8th year of being out, I just now feel like I'm kind of like caught up a little bit. I can kind of function normally, but I want to go above normal. I want to get my technological savvy. That's why I'm doing this YouTube thing, trying to get my little technology skills up. I know I ain't gonna never catch up with you youngsters. Y'all was born with this stuff. Y'all light years ahead of me, but hopefully I can build me a team around me of your generation to help me do some of the things that I want to do, on the social media platforms. But and so there's another guy I met named Robert Howard. He was interested in screenplay writing, and and so the first, not screenplay writing, but script writing. I want to be a movie producer, writing scripts for movies. And one of the scripts that he was writing was dealing with terrorism in America. And how we got cool was, how I was, because we were working in the kitchen together, in the dish tank. I worked, in prison, man, 30-something years, man. I might have averaged $50 a month. Over 30-something years, man. $50 a month, man. But I made something out of nothing. I made it work. I made it work. And so we in the kitchen and we chopping it up. So one day I'm in my cell and I'm looking at PBS, I believe, and they're interviewing this Homeland Security dude for New York City. But he had just written a book about Homeland Security and the changes that he made in New York City to protect America from terrorism. So I was like, that'd be a good book for Robert to glean from, because he's using all the modern